next to your debt service. Bonds outstanding, I think I mentioned before, there's $250,000 in TIP bonds outstanding, and those payments are being made on those without any issues. Pages 30 and 31, again, I put these in as facing pages for a reason, so that you can see that general obligation bonds outstanding, those are non-enterprise. Ones on the bottom, the revenue bonds are utilities. These are electric, water, sewer. Okay, the top is just the improvement bonds you do for the street and what have you. But as you look at that slide, slide 30, and look at how small those numbers were through prior to the flood, through 2008, and then post-flood on the right. They just dwarf the earlier years. With the, especially the two bonds issued in 09 and 11, as you see on the far side, or the second and third bullets there. Now you do the same thing with the revenue bonds at the bottom. What I've done here is I've stacked them to show you totals. We had $2.5 million in enterprise fund debt that was paid down to $2 million pre-flood, and since the flood, that was enterprise fund. Those have grown to 4.7 million. So tremendous amount of cash has gone in to make significant improvements, not only on the geo side, but on the utility side. And so obviously there's been a lot of work that's been done. But with that, means you have additional debt loads at this point. And we'll get to the enterprise funds and the repayment process on those as well. Notes payable. Slide 32. There are some other outstanding obligations. I'm sure the ones that have the orange column on those, that's 2011. Contract for G being the largest of those at $559,000, and then smaller ones that we've mentioned before related to fire, ambulance, and the fire garage. Slide 33. What sort of debt service is required going forward? That number is in the $800,000 range. You can see there it's going to drop off just slightly the next couple of years. It's not until 2016 that there's any real substantial drop off in your annual principal and interest requirements of debt. Cap project, slide 35. Again, this depicts really the change that occurred post-flood. And what this does is it looks at how much capital outlay you have. And this excludes your enterprise funds, just your governmental funds, not electric, water, sewer. And you can see the last 3 years, we've spent, I guess, an average of about $1.7 million in the last 3 years. When I did the math, in 2008 earlier, we were spending well less than $500,000 a year. The projects this year are listed in the bullets there. But it really visually shows you what's had to occur as a result of the flood. Capital improvement fund balance, again, up to $766,000 at its high point. The big drop off in 2010, we moved the $400,000 out for the community center. Back up a little bit this year, but one of the problems here, the capital improvement fund is really a reserve for future capital improvements. And so it's one of the first places we go to loan out to those other funds that were short waiting for FEMA dollars. So these dollars, they're in there, but they're receivable from other funds. So they do need to be replenished when we hopefully get all the FEMA dollars. And then in addition, have other FEMA dollars coming. They have a receivable. We don't put it in fund balance because we're unclear as to when we're going to get it. So they've got another $400 coming, or the capital improvement fund does. So, if FEMA were to pay everything off, this fund to get back up to $700. They get the $285 that another fund owes them, plus the $400 they have coming on their own. So there's some potential there, but we got to get all that FEMA funded. TIF, there's $48,000 there, but of course $258,000 outstanding in debt. Okay, slide 39. I mentioned FEMA, and here it is. We ended the year with FEMA owing us $1.4 million. We have gone with, we cannot confirm this with the federal and state government. What we've been doing is using BDMs on analysis that they provide us, all the PWs listed by which fund, and we book it. So these are BDM's number. I think they've done a great job, but we haven't got confirmation. We haven't, our firm hasn't directly from FEMA. You see that the water and sewer, the first one, electric, fairly small. The liquor I mentioned before, there's $91,000 due there. Once that is received, that's still gonna leave that $160-some thousand problem. Capital improvement, I mentioned that one. There's $395,000 that would come in there. You have a flood fund that owes other funds. There's $380,000. So smaller amounts in the last two. That totals to $1.4 million. Now, Kathy, last time I was down here, I think it was May 31st, you had collected 800 and some thousand since year end?
845.
Still at 845?
Yeah.
Okay, so of the 1,000,004, the city has received 845,000. That will go a long way to correcting some of these interfund problems, but it still leaves, $550,000 like that we need to keep pushing to get in here to get this all paid back. I talked about these interfund items. They're shown on page 40. So I'll start with the first one here. I just mentioned that the flood had $380,000 due from FEMA. Well, it owes it to other funds, so we'll be able to close that old flood fund out. When it gets its FEMA dollars, it'll pay this payable off. Water has a payable. You'll notice when we get to liquor and sewer, we've got two different colors there. Okay, so in the liquor's case, between the liquor store owes 90 and 166, or 80 and 166, it's 240. But the way we see it is, it's not going to be able to pay back any more than about the 80. So the red color is what we think it's going to pay back. The blue at the top is most likely going to have to be eaten by the general fund, and that's why we brought your general fund balance down by that. Or you can take it in lieu of the building and exchange for the building or what have you, but you're not going to get the cash for it. Now the sewer is the big one. There's $1,062,000 outstanding there that the sewer owes other funds. We at this point have between their excess assets and the amount they're getting from FEMA, which is I think just under 200,000. We're showing 254 of that as repayable. The 807 at the top is long-term, eventually to be repaid, but that's the big nut right there, is trying to make sure we get the sewer fund in a position where it can pay back not only this, but it's outstanding debt. We are going to then address sewer as we wrap up here. The rest of these interfund items, airport, community center, hopefully when the FEMA dollars come in, these will all be taken care of, and maybe some are already taken care of, it sounds like, from the dollars that Kathy has received from FEMA.